Hey, what's going on, everybody? All right. So, we're going to continue our reading. Today, we are in day 20, and we have actually entered the book of Job. Yesterday, we read the first couple chapters of Job, and we got introduced to a couple things, right? As far as the kind of like the behind the scenes as to what happens with God and his throne, or as far as when the sons of God, it talks about when the sons of God came before the Lord, and then Satan also shows up, and how the Lord allowed Satan to test Job because Job was a righteous man. And I think this book kind of answers that question as far as like, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do bad things happen to Christians, right? And sometimes it's just um, a test from the enemy, which the Lord has allowed. Now, and and I think, yeah, and this is where you kind of get into some weird thoughts, right? Because you think like, okay, is is the Lord wanting Job to fail? I don't think so. I don't think that is. But why was Job tested? Because he was a righteous man and he was able to handle the test. But then we'll get into, we also met his three friends, right? And we heard from one of his friends, and one of the rebukes from his friend was like, no, surely you did something bad. And as we get into Job, I think we're gonna hear a lot more of that, which also puts into mind as far as like, who are you hanging around with? What are the friends are you actually associating with? Because that plays a big role as far as whenever you're going through trials and tribulations, right? And then even the expression from his wife, where he told him, was like, hey, why don't you just curse God and die? So I think relationships, fellowship, the people that we surround ourselves is going to be very important. But let's do a little recap of day 20 as far as what we got here. All right, so we have Eliphaz operates out of a justice theology. People get what they deserve. He urges Job to present his case to God so that God would discipline and correct him. Job, meanwhile, appeals to his right to complain and assert his innocence. Eliphaz and Job both reflect the human condition. Like Eliphaz, people tend to seek justice for others, while at the same time wanting to receive grace. And those who observe the suffering of others typically look for causes. Like Job, people readily complain when they don't understand what's happening and immediately assume their own innocence. Those whose suffering seek immediate relief, both Eliphaz and Job, by trying to navigate suffering from their unique viewpoint. But neither man possesses the full revelation of God regarding Job's suffering. They are not privy to the conversation in heaven. Therefore, one condemns and the other complains. So I guess that's right? In this thing, like we kind of see Job going into this, complaining type of attitude. So never really had thought about it like that. But let's get into it today. Okay, so Eliphaz response continues. Job 5:1-27. Cry for help, but will anyone answer you? Which of the angels will help you? Surely resentment destroys the fool, and jealousy kills the simple. I have seen that fools may be successful for the moment, but then comes sudden disaster. Their children are abandoned far from help. They are crushed in court with no one to defend them. The hungry devour their harvest, even when it's guarded by brambles. The thirsty pant after their wealth, but evil does not spring from the soil, and trouble does not sprout from the earth. People are born for trouble as readily as sparks fly up from the fire. If I were you, I would go to God and present my case to him. He does great things, too marvelous to understand. He performs countless miracles. He gives rain for each earth and water for the fields. He gives prosperity to the poor and protects those who suffer. He frustrates the plans of the schemers, so the work of their hands will not succeed. He traps the wise in their own cleverness, so their cunning schemes are thwarted. They find it dark in the daytime, and they grope at noon as if it were night. He rescues the poor from the cutting words of the strong, and rescues them from the clutches of the powerful. And so at last the poor have hope, and the snapping jaws of the wicked are shut. But consider the joy of those corrected by God. Do not despise the discipline of the Almighty when you sin, for though he wounds, he also bandages. He strikes, but his hands also heal. From 6 disasters he will rescue you. Even in the 7th, he will keep you from evil. He will save you from death in time of famine, from the power of the sword in time of war. You will be saved from slander and have no fear when destruction comes. You will laugh at destruction and famine. Wild animals will not terrify you. You will be at peace with the stones of the field, and its wild animals will be at peace with you. You will know that your home is safe when you survey your possessions. Nothing will be missing. You will have many children. Your descendants will be as plentiful as grass. You will go to the grave at a ripe old age, like a sheet of grain harvested at the proper time. We have studied life and found all these to be true. Listen to my counsel and apply it to yourself. Job's second speech, a response to Eliphaz. Job 6, 1 through 7. Then Job spoke again. If my misery could be weighed and my troubles be put on the scale, they would outweigh all the sands of the sea. That is why I spoke impulsively. For the Almighty has struck me down with his sorrows. Their poison infects my spirit. God's terrors are lined up against me. Don't I have the right to complain? Don't wild donkeys bray when they find no grass, and oxen bellow when they have no food? Don't people complain about unsalted food? Does anyone want the tasteless white of an egg? My appetite disappears when I look at it. I gag at the thought of eating it. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant my desire. I wish he would crush me. I wish he would reach out his hand and kill me. At least I could take comfort in this, despite the pain. I have not denied the word of the Holy One, but I don't have the strength to endure. I have nothing to live for. Do I have the strength of a stone? Is my body made of bronze? No, I am utterly helpless, without any chance of success. One should be kind to a fainting friend, but you accuse me without any fear of the Almighty. My brothers, you have proved as unreliable as a seasoned brook that overflows its banks in the spring, when it is swollen with ice and melting snow. But when the hot weather arrives, the water disappears, the brook vanishes in the heat. The caravan turns aside to be refreshed, but there is nothing to drink, so they die. The caravan from Tema searches for this water. The travelers from Sheba hope to find it. They count on it, but as disappointed when they arrive, their hopes are dashed. You too have given me no help. You have seen my calamity, and you are afraid. But why? Have I ever asked you for a gift? Have I begged for anything of yours for myself? Have I asked you to rescue me from my enemies, or to save me from the ruthless people? Teach me, and I will keep quiet. Show me what I have done wrong. Honest words can be painful, but what do your criticisms amount to? Do you think your words are convincing when you disregard my cry of desperation? You would even send an orphan into slavery or sell a friend. Look at me. Would I lie to your face? Stop assuming my guilt, for I have done no wrong. Do you think I'm lying? Don't I know the difference between right and wrong? Is not all human life a struggle? Our lives are like that of a hired hand, like a worker who longs for the shade, like a servant waiting for to be paid. I too have been assigned months of futility, long and weary nights of misery. Lying in bed, I think, when will it be morning? But the night drags on, and I toss till dawn. My body is covered with maggots and scabs. My skin breaks open, oozing with pus. Job cries out to God. Job 7:6-21. My days fly faster than a weaver's shuttle. They end without hope. O God, remember that my life is but a breath, and I will never again feel happiness. You see me now, but not for long. You will look for me, but I will be gone, just as clouds dissipate and vanish. Those who die will not come back. They are gone forever, from their home, never to see again. I cannot keep from speaking. I must express my anguish. My bitter soul must complain. Am I a sea monster or a dragon that you must place me under guard? I think my bed will comfort me, and sleep will ease my misery. But then you shatter me with dreams and terrify me with visions. I would rather be strangled, rather die than suffer like this. I hate my life, and I don't want to go on living. Oh, leave me alone for my few remaining days. What are people that you should make so much of us, that you should think of us so often? For you examine us every morning and test us every moment. Why won't you leave me alone, at least long enough for me to swallow? If I have sinned, what have I done to you? O watcher of all humanity, why make me your target? Am I a burden to you? Why not just forgive my sin and take away my guilt? For soon I will lie down in the dust and die when you look for me. I will be gone. Man, that's a short reading today. But that concludes the reading for today, day 20, and then we'll be continuing this on. So that's a pretty interesting read. I've read the book of Job in the past, but I've never really spent a lot of time reading it. I think the last time that I read the Bible through was I went through the whole Bible, and it was with the King James only. So this is the version that I'm reading out of this time as the NLT. So a lot easier to read, but it's very poetic. You can feel the pain of Job, and how he just wants it to end. He's just like, hey, I'd rather be dead. And even in the beginning, how he says, cursed is the day when a child was born. Cursed is, I don't know, I forget what he says, and it just makes you wonder, right? As far as when we've all gone through moments of pain, and we ask ourselves, what is going on? What did I do to deserve this? And sometimes the answer is what you did to deserve was be faithful. Be a faithful servant of God. And he's going to use this to glorify his name. Which, that can be kind of comforting, but at the same time kind of like, wait, what? Can we skip that? I've gone through situations in life like that where I'm like, don't do me like Job. Can we just skip that? But I don't know. Anyways, that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and just be blessed.